making a very quick post-webinar, recap of what the webinar was like, what we got from the webinar, so it's easy for us for those of us who want to go through the entire recorded video, we can just quickly have this recap. So basically, we had Omosolani Oluwasule speak to us about, in summary, businesses, startups, SMBs. Probably you're working with a startup, as we had someone also ask the question, if I'm a cloud security analyst for a startup, what kind of tools or what should I be looking out for to give them good value, right? So she mentioned the summary of what she talked about was, as startups, it's better to be proactive cloud security, because when you have an incident, the risk and the loss that is involved in mitigating an incident is way much more than what you would spend in being proactive. So with being proactive, like I said, we had someone ask the question if I'm a cloud security analyst for a startup, apart from IAM and vulnerability management, which I believe CJ did complete justice with. All right. So CJ mentioned in the more practical term, vulnerability management and your IAM. These are the some of the two basic security practices that as a startup you should definitely be proactive with, right? And so the question was, apart from these two, what other tools can I bring into my organization to give us value, to help us be more secure? And we talked about what I suggested, and we also then talked about when, right? When being a CSPM tool. So a CSPM basically means a cloud security posture management. So what differentiates a cloud security posture management tool from other, let's say, threat detection, or malware protection, or firewall, and all of that? So a cloud security posture management tool puts you in the forefront, puts your foot in front of the situation, right? So you are proactive with your cloud security, you're proactive with your cloud security strategy, right? So you can quickly know. So just imagine you have a large house, right? A mansion of about 20 rooms, right? And you want to know what's going on. You want to know which of these rooms lead outside, which of these rooms are vulnerability points, like CJ talks about endpoints, right? Which of these rooms are risk prone? Where can people public access come into the mansion from these rooms, right? So a CSPM tool gives you this full visibility, so you can have a very good overview of your cloud architecture, of the security posture of your cloud architecture. So you can know in one view, you can know, oh, this room has public access. So now you can now ask yourself, should this room have public access or not? And then you can now decide whether to block all public access to this room. Why? Because this room has sensitive data. My bedroom should not have public access, right? So that's what the CSPM tool does, and that it saves you from spending so much. I mean, the main idea and theme of the webinar is cloud security without breaking the bank, right? So which are the most cost-effective tools you can purchase and you can use to improve the cloud security of your organization without having to spend billions and billions of dollars. And it is definitely a CSPM tool. So I'll quickly give you a demo of how Wendu will help you. Wendu does help organizations. Wendu does help organizations protect their clients, right? All you have to do, Windows is completely agentless. Windows is completely agentless, it's completely full on API. So you don't have to have any agent-based solution hosting on your cloud environment or whatever. So it is also a SaaS product, right? So you go to Windows.io, and you go to login. You can have some very good Wendu page. We also have a very lively resource page where we have blogs, we have guides, there's some of which we'll be sharing with you guys in this post meeting and post webinar mail. So you log into your Wendu platform. You log into your Wendu platform, like I said, Wendu is accessible everywhere. Just launch version, so it gives you cloud security on the go, basically, right? So Wendu is multi-cloud, right? So you can have your AWS accounts integrated to Wendu, and you can also have your Microsoft Azure account integrated to Wendu. And it's also, as much as it's multi-cloud, it's also multi-accounted. So for one cloud service provider, for example, the Azure, you can have one, two, three, four different cloud accounts, right? And also the same thing for your AWS. You can have multiple, you can have one, two, also as many as you do need a cloud account. So we're talking about cloud security without breaking the bank. And we talked about IAM, we talked about vulnerability management, and we talked about how a CSPM tool such as Wendu brings all of this together so you don't have to spend so much, getting threat detection. Right now, when you do grow, when you do scale, you can't get those things and add to the CSPM. But for now, the priority, we're talking about what can help me focus on the priority for cloud security without breaking the bank. And Wendu is your tool for that. So you can immediately see what your IAM is like regarding security. You can immediately see how many people have admin privilege in your cloud environment. You can immediately see how many people have overprivileged identities. Another thing CJ talks about is the least privilege principle. You can immediately see if you're giving access to resources that are not necessary to certain people. And again, you can immediately see how many users within your cloud environment, cloud accounts have disabled MFAs. You don't want that, and also unrotated access keys. So this dashboard helps you in one view, helps you know if your cloud environment is IAM compliant or not. So let's say in an event of an incident, right, you get a breach, the first thing you want to do, as we talked about, is to have a user audit. Go and check your IAM, make sure that whoever is within your whoever has access to your cloud environment should have access, and whoever has authorization to certain resources should have that. When we give you that, like I said, in a nutshell, right, without spending so much time, without going too much back and forth, so you can immediately have a user audit to know who has access to my cloud environment and what do they have access for. So this is for IAM, right? And then go into your vulnerability management, your external exposure. So when we let you know, like I said, which of these rooms in your mansion have public access, and if they do have public access, should they have public access? So it helps you understand and know the security posture of the environment. Now, this is very proactive. This is very proactive because if I wake up in the morning, or if I wake up, if I wake up in the morning and I'm the CSO, right, or I'm the CTO, and I want to know what is the cloud security posture of my organization's cloud environment. If I know we've been working on a new project, right? And I'm as a CTO, I'm not directly involved with this project, but I want to know if my engineers are making sure that the EC2 instances that are housing or that are hosting our customers' important data is not publicly accessible. But I also want to make sure that the RDS is in our RDS database that has all the sensitive data is not publicly accessible. I can quickly go. I know the EC2 security group that these run on, so I can quickly go to the EC2 security group remediation here, and I can see that what Wendu will show me is very quickly show me this particular EC2 security group. If I can identify the particular EC2 security group, and I can also see that this particular EC2 security group is allowing public access. And now we talked about risk rating as well. You want to know which risk should have main priority. So Wendu helps you do that. So every risk is not priority, of course. So you can see that this particular EC2 security group allows public access. So now you want to make sure, as a CTO, you want to make sure you call your engineer to say, look, I hope, what are the resources running on this EC2 security group? Or if you have access to your AWS management console, then you go there and make sure that every resource that is attached, or that this EC2 security group is attached to, is not a resource or asset that has critical or sensitive data. So in a nutshell, a CSPM tool such as Wendu helps you be proactive with cloud security. And this is how you can achieve cloud security without breaking the bank. I mean, there's so many other aspects of Wendu that we also have the cost optimization aspects where you have the idle resources, we have the compliance if you want to make sure that your cloud architecture is compliant on the cloud infrastructure level, not on the application level, on the cloud infrastructure level. So you don't have to pay any. I mean, T-Mobile just paid, was it over 300 million to customers because they were not compliant enough with customer data. You want to avoid that. Can imagine what that will do to you as a startup. So there's a lot more we can do for you, right? And if you do want a more in-depth demo, if you do want a more in-depth explanation, a more in-depth understanding of how Wendu can help you achieve cloud security without breaking the bank, please reach out to us, reach out to me. I'll be glad to have a conversation with you. I'll be glad to make sure your resources are best used, right? I'll be glad to make sure you can cloud security without definitely breaking the bank. Thank you, and we'll be looking forward to meet all of you again next month for the next month webinar. Have a great day.